It's good. It's good because, like you, it wasn't super early.
Yeah.
I had a later night last night, so I thought,
No kidding. Same with me.
You too. Was it memorable for the right reasons?
Well, I was actually working all day yesterday, and I had a last client at 1 a.m.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't really get to sleep until 2.
Oh my goodness. I see.
And now I'm on to work again, so.
My goodness. That's dedication. What do you do for work?
I'm an esthetician, but I also help run this boutique.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like double duty of sorts.
Yeah, exactly. But they're both things that I like to do, so it's fine.
I was thinking about that yesterday and telling someone about it. When I'm in this job, I do some long hours as well, but it doesn't seem long or well, I get tired physically, but their question was, do you mentally get sort of exhausted after dealing with people all day? And I say, actually, no, I don't. So it's nice when you can find that setting in which
100%. And I feel like as long as you're having, conversations that kind of come naturally and go with the flow, I feel like it's really hard to get drained or feel exhausting. And I feel like, especially when you're having new conversations about things that normally, in the last 10 years probably wouldn't have gotten brought up, it's pretty cool. And I feel like, the world physically doesn't look like it's changing, but through conversations and just the difference of a conversation nowadays versus 10 years ago is completely different.
Interesting thought. I've never thought of that. It made me think of something else where I know on some of my live streams I'll have new people coming in sometimes, and so they'll ask a lot of the similar questions that they're interested about what I do and what I'm about, and so sometimes my followers will be like, don't you ever get really tired of answering the questions? And I tell them no, because I almost want to hear the questions as if it's for the first time. And it's a couple of opportunities there. One, to be able to think, how can I communicate in different ways, which I really love, is thinking creatively about how to say the same thing in different ways. And then secondly, it's also one of those things where I want to extend them that courtesy and saying, hey, you're new on the scene here, and I'm not going to fault you that you weren't here when everyone else was to answer this, to hear the answer to these questions. So I want to answer it in that vein. So it's not a big deal. So it made me think while you're saying that how I think I have a high tolerance for sometimes the same things that may seem the same, just because the people I'm interacting with are different, and the response or the engagement is going to be potentially different. But even then, as gifted as I am conversationally, it's not always a home run. Not always a home run in the sense that sometimes I just have really quiet rides, for example, or it doesn't seem as juicy, as the norm that I'm used to, and I'm totally okay with that too.
Yeah. Well, there's some people who would rather stay inside the box, and there's some people who naturally look outside the box. Right?
Yeah.
And either way, both can get you where you're going.
Sure enough.
Or where you want to go. It's just understanding that every single opinion or outcome has trillions of different perspectives or outcomes, right?
Absolutely.
I feel like that's the only thing that gets me going through and working every day and doing things like that is understanding that I could do it now or I could do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And having that mentality that it'll always get done.
Yeah.
You're just always working. You're always moving.
Yeah.
And it's never about do I need to take a moment today? Do I need to take a moment tomorrow?
Yeah.
You're always going to have a moment.
Sure.
It's just whether you choose to take it or not.
Right.
And if you don't, then open another door, right? And you keep doing that, and as long as your mentality is just always moving.
Yeah.
I feel like there's nothing really wrong. But if you're still comfortable sitting in the same space and having that same conversation, if it's been working for you, then who's to say anything is wrong, right?
I part of that, I think, is just a sense of confidence that come with no prescribed outcome, more so rolling with it, and so being okay when it's not like, there may be the pressure that some may feel saying, oh, it's got to be like something fresh, or I'm like, not really, I'll just kind of take it wherever it goes kind of thing. And I find a lot more comfort in that too. I wonder if I think there should be a study done on a more academic graduate level as follows, whereby they watch kids who are like maybe in preschool who are being taught to color in the lines, right? This thought was sparked when you were saying those who think outside the box. I was thinking, I wonder if those kids at their young stages who are intentionally saying, I don't see any lines, and cover all outside the lines, are the individuals who have an easier access to thinking outside the box in the future because they're not constrained by like fitting things in the way that we were taught to, right?
And like it's very few and far in between because I'm very both. I'm like very outside of the box kind of person, but I'm such a perfectionist that even thinking about coloring outside of the lines scares the shit out of me. Right? But, I feel like if you, I don't know. I think to me it's like you can have all of the creative freedom. But always having that structural background is super strong.
A really helpful point.
There's two different types of people. There's people who have structure first and the freedom flow after.
Brilliant.
And there's some people who live through freedom and their flow and have just a structural base come secondary. So that it doesn't.
Really good
it's more
point.
like organized chaos, right?
Really good point. And I totally resonate with that. I think because in what I do really well, I had to apply myself, first of all, to coloring inside the lines before I said, okay, now I'm going to intentionally color outside the lines now and break the rules because I know which ones I want to break. Same thing as a musician. Like, I could not achieve my dexterity until I knew all the theoretical components, and then now I'm like, I have a lot more freedom that most wouldn't who wish they could have my skill. I think that's the same thing.
I'm the opposite, like with music, like I've been playing multiple instruments since I was like 6 years old.
Oh my goodness.
And I cannot read music.
Okay, I'm the same way too. I play by ear. Do you play by ear? Oh, nice. Nicely done.
Like 10 different instruments.
Oh my.
And it's ridiculous because like.
This is me trying to feel happy for you right now.
Yeah, me too. I feel it.
That's amazing. Oh man.
Right, but it's organized. It's organized. Like I can tell you maybe what chord I'm playing. Like I will not be able to find another chord or what it is.
But still, you had to have some sort of like consistency first to be able to have access to
exactly. But it's a grind, right? It's like you can grind physically or you can grind mentally, but both will pay off. And same thing like spiritually. There's monks who literally haven't spoken a word in the last 50 years. And they're more spiritually and mentally inclined than a lot of the people who put in the work, have the conversations, and throw themselves up there, right? It's all perspective, and it's all just what works best for you as an individual. Because it is as much as we are a collective as people, like everybody's so different. And like I grew up doing like readings for people and card readings and things like that, and like I met so many people where I thought that I just knew them right off the bat, and I pull a card and then I figure out who they are, and it's so crazy. Like everybody is so similar but so different, and like.
Okay, along those lines, as an aesthetician, what is one of the biggest observations you've noticed of people in general, especially in your clientele, who come to apply for your services?
They come back to my services?
Who come to your services,
I find it's just because I created an environment that people can be whoever they want to be. And I don't hold any sort of standard or judgment towards people. Like, I don't care what you look like, what you're doing, what you need done. I just create that safe space and I make sure everybody's having fun in it. And like, that's just my thing. Like, whether you're getting waxed or you're getting your face done or your eyelashes or eyebrows, like, I don't care. Everybody kind of gets pushed in some sort of path that kind of opens them up to themselves, and I feel like that's really hard to do, especially when you're looking for somebody else's service. I feel like people tend to put themselves into other people, whereas I try to wake themselves up and get that within themselves. And I think that like that's a huge thing, especially with like aesthetics, because I don't want myself walking around on a million different people. I want a million different people to be waking up and walking around as themselves, right? And everywhere I go, I feel like everybody just wants that selfish part of themselves, and like wants to instill their values and their looks and their aesthetics onto everybody. And like, I've just never been like that. And I feel like people really feel it, because people feel the most themselves whenever they're in my hands.
So it's very hard, even though they're trying to like amend something about their looks, they still want to be seen for who they are.
Yeah, exactly, right? And like people will come in and show me pictures of other people, and I always shut it down right away, and I say, no, we're doing something that works for you, and what you like, and what's going to be completely customized to your look. And like, because of that, and I take extra time to, you know, make sure everything is done properly. Like, I feel like it just, it makes people just really appreciate who they are, you know? Because I feel like growing up, especially with all the social media, we're always wanting to be like somebody and do something like somebody, and I